this is it. This is the last Friday of my 2-week vacation, and it's gonna rain all weekend. So this is the last chance. I've been trying all week to get out in the morning for a longer ride, and it just never happens. There's always something coming up I need to get done. I've still been managing to get out for some shorter rides in the afternoons. Some of the rides that I said last season I was going to have to start doing more of, just the quick 100 to 150 kilometer quick trips, just to get out and scratch the itch, you know. Which is good because this has been a pretty productive vacation. Got a lot of stuff done. Caught up on a lot of maintenance repairs on all the bikes. Got some other stuff done around the house. Accomplished some things that I wanted to do just in general, like, you know, camping with our little girl. Spent her first night in a tent. She loved it. She's actually been asking to do it again. And if it wasn't for all this rain, I think we'd be out there. But anyway, this is the first day that I finally managed to do it, actually get away in the morning. It's still not that great. I mean, I only left at like 10:30 a.m. Still wasted a lot of time, but whatever, we're out. Spent so much time just debating in my mind where I want to go. Then finally I thought, you know what, last time I was on vacation, I was just about wrapping it up, and I decided to jump on this bike, pack lunch into the side bags, and go for a rip around Advocate Harbour. And it was a very nice ride. So why not just take the questions out of it and repeat. There's sections there where the road is rough as shit. When I'm by myself on this thing, I just take my time. It doesn't beat me up too bad then. Plus I get to go back and check out the road condition, right? So then if a group of us want to go back, take the ZX-10 with me, then I'll know if the road is worthwhile or not. I know this is just a boring old highway to Nova Scotia, but I figure I should probably take a video of this. It's unheard of. Not one windmill spinning, barely a breeze on the marsh. Like, look at those flags, they're hanging. How often does that happen? Usually the wind's trying to rip you right off the road here. Fuel up here and see if this can be the only fuel stop for the day. I don't really have a solid enough plan in place to know if it will be. Oh, not this again. My last trip to Advocate was filled with deer. I don't need any more of that. A friend of mine just said that he's departing for a ride too, and he's heading kind of this way. He's, you know, 60 kilometers behind me. I told him the general direction I'm heading in, though, if he wants to play catch-up. Can't imagine he will, but the offer's there. The skies are much more gray down here. As long as there's no chance of rain, I don't really mind that. Keep some of the heat and sun off me. Fossil Center, 24 kilometers. That's not where I'm going, but I'm going to that general area. If the road condition could stay like this all the way to Advocate, that would be great. Maybe someday it'll get back there. We're gonna take a different way today. A way that I haven't gone in, geez, at least 15 years. I think I only ever did it once. Former co-worker recommended going this way before. We did it once and that was it. Since I'm just kind of wandering today, why not? We'll check it out. I seem to remember that the bulk of the road wasn't too interesting. Just kind of sneaking through the woods, but I mean, that's what 90% of this ride is, right? I just can't seem to get used to the transmission in this bike. I glance down at the tack and I'm like, oh, I'm in 6th gear. Then I start questioning it. Am I? Try it. No, I wasn't. It's kind of cool that when you look across the water over there, I can see the road that I came in on. fair, this is a very nice little change. Some new scenery. Get to see the windmills from the other side. Is that 2 different churches? Geez, that looks like 3 churches, like right there. Yeah, you know, I'm liking this road. I think the first time I would have came through here, I would have been riding 2 up. Tracy would have been on the back. I think probably Al and Diane would have been riding 2 up as well. So I mean, maybe we were just kind of moseying along through here and never really noticed. Never really paid close enough attention to how nice the road is. Look at this. It's got to be what? Or maybe one's a church. Yeah, school museum. What was a schoolhouse? Schools and churches went hand in hand back then. See, this is what I remember most. The road getting rougher. Okay, maybe I'm getting into the section now that made me question why we came this way. Just like the rest of this road to Advocate, though, we'll slow it down and deal with it. But yeah, I remember rough roads when I was riding 2 up. That's extra hard on you. Hard on everybody. The person driving and the passenger. It doesn't get any worse than this. Won't be too bad. Well, my request for the road not to get any worse did work. The grass and the weeds and everything are like taking over. They're growing up through the road in a lot of sections. A lot of dirt, a lot of holes. It's kind of par for the course in this area now, though. A lot of twisty turns, though, which now, since they're filled with dirt, it's kind of tricky, but it's just another road that gets added on that list, you know. Man, if they were to pave this thing one day. But again, I can almost guarantee that this pavement, maybe this patch in the center, or maybe these little patches here or there, those have probably been laid since I've been here, you know, 15 years ago or so. But beyond that, this pavement has probably gone untouched. Which goes to show that when it was initially built, when this road was built like this, they did a much better job than anything you've ever seen in New Brunswick. Pavement in New Brunswick doesn't have a chance to age. It's falling apart long before that. I feel like I'm approaching Joggins now. Starting to see more signs of life on this end. Now, this is kind of cool. You get a look at the fossil cliffs a little bit. That's pretty cool. I forgot you could actually see this. Expect freezing spray. Wow. The tide is in. I imagine it's pretty wild. Get some storm surge up in here. I think the first time I ever came down through here, Jamie and I found a dirt road somewhere that followed those cliffs, and you could kind of go out and look right over them. It's so big, it looks like you're 10 feet from the water. But then if you throw a rock from the top of it, you really got to throw it if you want to land it in the water. I'll have to find out maybe next time we come through here with a group if anyone wants to check it out. Gotta be willing to put up with some rough road. And if I'm on another bike besides this one, I don't know if I'll want to do it either. Slightly softer suspension and more upright seating position makes this a little more reasonable on rough roads. The 10 will ride through them, no problem, but it'll make you suffer for it. I haven't seen a sign, but I think this is going to dump me out in Joggins. After everything I drove through without a warning sign, I better pay attention to the bump signs here. Oh. Naturally, some of them are nothing. When you just come through Joggins to go to Advocate, you'd swear it was like one street in the town with 2 or 3 houses. You come in that way, you can say there is a bit of a community here. Maybe we'll pull over for a minute just to see if Troy decided to join us. No word from Troy yet, but I mean, he's riding. He's probably never even read the message yet. Again, I don't expect anyone to try and catch up at this point. even though I've been taking some roundabout detours, that's slowing me down. You know, this road is fairly secluded when you're coming over hills and having to zigzag around piles of bear shit sitting in the middle of it. As long as the bear is still not sitting there shitting currently, and deer, no more deer, that would be great. The road is somewhat questionable here. Quickly figure out though that this is like great condition compared to what's coming up. Maybe as we go further here, I'll find a couple other little side roads that I've never been into. There's one area near Apple River I've never gone into and I always wondered about. Might get you out to the coast for a little look around. If the day ever comes that they straighten this road out a little bit, I really hope that part of the plan includes cutting back some of the ditches. Having a little better line of sight through the turns would be nice. I mean, even for the folks coming through here in cars and trucks, you know, at the speed limit, even that kind of thing. Just being able to see through the turns and see if there's a deer standing in the road or whatever would really benefit everybody. This is the one section of new pavement we got last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago now, I forget. Really got my hopes up that they were going to continue on with this, but the last time I was here, I think it was in late June, there was no sign of that. You usually don't like seeing construction signs while you're out riding like this, but this is one situation where I'd love to see them. Full paving crew right at the end of this little stretch here would be great. Some darker clouds over there. Now I seem to remember this pavement just ends abruptly. Quickly get thrown back into reality. There it is. Rough section next unlimited kilometers, I guess. What great wording. Section. Alright, we're down to 70. At times we're going to be way lower than that even. Just grit and bear it. Get through it, I guess. Man, this is my spot. I like stopping here. Maybe we'll find another one today. It's strange back there. There was a couple of spots where it did look like there was some fairly fresh patches made, but then there were spots where the road is gone. Like it's just dirt holes in the middle of the road. And they weren't even attempted to be cleaned up or patched at all, so I guess maybe they're not as new as I think they are. Maybe we'll skip that bridge this time and stop at the next one. The third one, the one where you're getting out of the worst of it. I've always said that when you're traveling through here, the worst of the road is between the bridges. There's 3 large bridges that you pass coming through here. We've already passed 2. The first one, it doesn't really count anymore because you get, you know, a couple of kilometers of brand new pavement right after it. But before, when that wasn't there, it was rough as hell, just like the rest of this. So then you pass that second bridge that I usually stop at. That's the second one. And then the next one will be coming up shortly after more of this nonsense. And that's usually the sign that you've made it through the worst. And years ago, it was, you know, it was smooth sailing on either side, like once you got out of those bridges. And I always used to mention that to people I ride with, and they never knew what I meant. Like, guys, there's 3 big bridges. We cross them every time we come through here. You must notice that in between those bridges, the road is awful. I should have stopped at that last bridge, just kind of struck up a conversation with those two. So have you guys been through here before? Because if you don't know what you're in for, you might want to consider turning around. Again, some of these patches are... That's this year. I'm sure some of those were put down this year. Because there's still piles of asphalt on the outside edge. But I mean, stuff like this is untouched. Like if you're in here patching things, why aren't you filling the gaping holes that lead right to dirt? Again, it would be great if it turned out to be a case of, you know, minimal effort because we're going to come through here and repave all of this. That would be awesome. But as time goes on, man, I really don't see it happening. And realistically, why would it be a priority? I mean, look at all the people who live here. Like, you barely pass a few cottages through the bulk of this road. So it's a very significant investment. Not a lot of tax base in the area to justify it. But the one thing that gives you hope is that, like, you know, Joggins has the Fossil Cliffs, Advocate has some sort of park. I don't know if it's national or provincial or I don't know what it is. Much of this area is, you know, advertised as a tourist area. No tourist wants to run on this road. Look at my mirrors once in a while, make sure the bags are still attached. Some of these patches are like no better than the road underneath them. You can see the humps and lumps in them. It's a situation where if someone were to ask me, you know, is the road still bad? Did they do any work? It's going to be difficult to answer. I'd be like, yeah, they did work, but I just don't understand what they were doing. Maybe we'll stop here this time. Maybe we'll even go down by the river. Yeah, look at that. That is new. There's no question now. We're gonna risk it. Why not? Let's do it. The only thing that concerns me is flat tires. Flat tires and loose footing. Alright, that's good for now. Is that a rope? Someone actually dig that out to make it deep enough for swimming? Oh, look, that'll make a pretty picture, won't it? Alright, we climbed up out of there. Now we're just gonna pay attention to how the bike handles for the next little while. Make sure that we didn't pick up a rock the wrong way. So, you know, a flat tire is a bit of a risk right now. Middle of nowhere, no cell service. I had a flat repair kit that I used to carry quite often, but since Tracy's new Outlander doesn't come with a spare tire, I kind of threw it in the trunk on that thing. I have to pick up another one. I tend to only use my hard bags when I'm on rides like this, so throw it right in the hard bags and leave it there. So, should we go check out Apple River? That's dirt road, so we won't go that way. I think it's called Apple River out here anyway. Apple something. I would have looked at a map to check it out, but you need cell service for that kind of stuff. Yeah, Apple River Road. Why not? Let's go have a look. We're exploring today. I don't think it goes very far out here. I think the majority of roads around here are not paved. Hey, another bridge. Is this just placebo effect, or do I feel this bike starting to wallow a bit? Pull over and do another tire check here. Little bridge and a big one. Will this loose crap hold up a side stand? I don't like that. Hang on. Gotta be a hard base under there somewhere. That one seems good. And that one still seems good. I think we're all right. geosite. Alright, if we find anything better than rough roads... Oh, never mind. That's enough. It's not that rough, but I'm not that interested. Go on, you big girl. Alright, let's get back to the main road. Surprised I'm still getting radio stations from back home, but I guess in a roundabout way I'm just like a straight shot across the water. Radio signals can be weird over there because you can be within a couple of kilometers of the broadcast tower and it's all fuzzy. Here I am in another province picking it up, which really isn't something special to brag about since the radio stations suck. Advocate Harbour with its dirty entrance turn. The old Advocate store still sees a few bikes coming through. Let's see what's up down at the wharf. A room for a guy to park for a minute and eat a granola bar. Tide's way in by comparison to the last time I was here. This is the one they put the pipe in. Oh, lots of bumps and rocks. Is there a spot I can pull over here without getting ran over? Apparently my music decided to take a shit on me. Right here. It's a good line of sight for people. Actually, let's do this and this. Park brake. Can tell the contract is coming up on my phone. Last couple of phones I had pretty good luck running them out beyond the contract and saving some money. This one's doing the usual though, and the battery will barely last a day now. Man, the humps and the dirt and these turns are awesome, but they're rough. I can't remember if it was on the ZX12 or the 10. I've gotten my knee down in those turns before. They were nowhere near as bad as they are right now, but it was still pretty sketchy. Probably not a great idea. The throttle on this bike is sometimes so smooth and other times it's just so on-off. Because it really looks like even the really fun sections of this road are starting to deteriorate. It almost seems like the province is just giving up on this area. Coming from New Brunswick, I can recognize that stuff. see a older gal out for a little ride with the side-by-side up the road. Always makes me wonder, in the freak incident where a cop were to pass through, what would she do? Just pull over and play it off like, hey, we do this all the time, don't worry about it? Or would she run? You have to take every turn slower than you comfortably can, just because you don't know what's waiting for you in the middle of it. You gotta leave a little room for error in case it's full of dirt or a person or an animal. No real line of sight coming up on them. And I think that's about it for the fun stuff. Now it's basically just the cruise to Parsboro. Still looking for 7th gear now. Can't figure out if I'm in 6th, but I still want 7. Naturally, we would catch this truck here. I'll hand it to him. He's trying much harder than most. It's crazy how often I'm reaching for these keys these days. It seems like unless I'm out riding with the boys, then I tend to enjoy this one a little bit more sometimes. And I know why. The 10 is very fun, but mostly when you're pushing it. When I ride alone, I tend not to do that too much. Short bursts here and there, but anyway, we're nearing the end of this ride. Still got some kilometers to burn through to get home, but it's going to be pretty uneventful. So, you know, as usual, comment, subscribe, etc. I'll see how close I can get to home before running out of gas, because I'm too stubborn to stop for some. You can come back and check out the next one.